wellness coach, Tatiana. I almost said wellness.
You see? Because it's a wellness conversation, right? That's the thing.
In this episode, we'll explore the mindset of finding your best self through well-being. Tatiana brings a unique perspective on well-being, emphasizing the balance and harmony between inner self and outer appearance. Welcome to the very first episode of Million Dollar Style Happy Hour. I'm your host, Eva Katana, and today we will be diving into captivating conversation with incredible wellness coach, Tatiana Walters. I'm so happy that you are here. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you can share your experiences, your life lessons, and your thoughts about well-being and all your thoughts about wellness in general.
Thank you. It's an honor. And also I wanted to congratulate you for your first podcast. This is phenomenal with everything that you're doing and everything you're being and the mom and yeah, you know it all.
Thank you.
You managed to launch your first podcast. I'm thrilled. Thank you. Honored and thrilled. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and I'm
much.
really pleased.
Thank you. I would be happy. I'd be happy to share, and I would definitely be glad to motivate people by just being here and answering your questions and hoping that it will allow them to understand that it truly doesn't take much to be the best version of their self or yourself, and the only thing that's needed is love inside.
That's so
I'm
beautiful.
happy.
What are the steps for finding your best self?
That's such a great question and very broad question. But for each individual, in my opinion, the best self is how they see themselves, nobody else, not their parents, not their sibling, not their friends, nobody but themselves. And a lot of times what I see and hear that people are not authentic with themselves and they're not truly aware of what they want and how they want. So the best way to start it is identify, who am I? What am I here for?
Because people sometimes, I think, they feel lost. It would be really valuable to know what is the first step, what you take. Do you go to yoga? Do you go to meditate? Do you just lock down in your room and start thinking, who am I? Or what is your lesson if you would be lost in yourself, if you don't know who you are, what your style is, what your purpose is, where do you start?
No, it's definitely not easy nowadays with the amount of media and all the noise out there. Absolutely not easy. So you start within. Again, coming back to yourself is your best friend. Your body, your feeling, your senses, everything that you possess is the answer to many questions, but people don't realize. Yes, a lot of times we need tools, and for each individual, it is a different tool. But the best way to start is to identify the feeling with the certain doing. So, for example, for me, it is yoga, eating plant-based food, eating, not necessarily, there's nothing wrong with animal grown or animal-based food, no. But I've identified that in my case, my energy is vibrant and abundant when I am plant-based. And I'll explain later why. And I only came to this by trying all different things. But when I identify that, oh, I feel calm, or I feel confident, or I feel energetic and passionate and ambitious, when I've known those qualities, they're part of me. I could feel it inside my gut. And I think everybody can relate that when you know it's yours, it's like a ring, or maybe sometimes something in your belly. It's like a bell inside that this is me. The same with yoga. Some people go to hot yoga and they say, oh no, this is not me. I can't do this. I become dizzy, or I felt weak for the next 3 days. So perhaps their body is talking to them. This is not their path. And maybe doing something active like working out where you get the sweat through your skin.
The energy.
The energy. Yes, definitely. And with that, they're coming closer to their own true path. So I guess to answer your question is identifying what is true for themselves, for yourself, activity wise, food wise, style wise, passion wise, career wise, hobby wise, and so on. The key is to keep trying and not looking at anybody else or comparing yourself. Yes, you can definitely relate to a network, to a circle, and hear some values that you or they share and say, oh, I share the same values. Maybe I'll listen to that person. I'll stay around that circle of women, girls, or men. It's just basing yourself on the values that you possess. It's very important to identify. And I'll just give an example. For me, one of the important values is family. So I build everything, even my work, around my family. But the family comes first. And this is just the stage that I'm going through right now. Maybe in 5 years from now, it will be different. But for now, family is one of the values. Value number 2, love. Anything that I do from love, with love, and love around. And I'm not talking about love for my husband. I'm talking love in general. Love to myself is the first and the most important thing, because guess what? We all have that chatter, little chatter inside that will talk to us. Not good enough, not this enough, not enough. And once you switch that chatter, say, okay, I heard you, but I love you. And I'm going to keep going with my own pace. And it will be happening. So to really, truly identify the identity, the passions, and everything else that we've just discussed is, I think, to start from within. I think
that's wonderful. And you mentioned media. Do you think when trying to find yourself, you would... First, what you have to do is switch off TV. Don't watch news. Don't watch, I don't know, some kind of celebrity news maybe. Switch off the phone. Go to nature. How important is that in your life? That personal space without any interactions, or you have to live with it, or you want to distance, like make a distance between that buzz when you're trying to find yourself, like your best path, when you're just like researching about who I really am and what are my feelings really, or how it is with you. Do you need everything off, or you just try to live with that?
It's not that easy to shut off everything and go to nature, considering we live in the modern society and, you can't just escape and be in the woods. Oh, okay, I'm gone. Don't touch me. Don't call me. I'm gone, searching for myself. So the answer to that is that we try to build into our daily schedule what we have. Media is always going to be there, but we have a choice. We have a choice in the morning when you wake up, or we wake up. Do we reach out for the phone, or do we reach out to the body and check in with the body? You check in with your body. So little steps in your daily life, because people work and people have responsibility. So we all have something that we need to do in this modern world, and we cannot forget that. And considering that there are ways and methods to built in certain behavior, habits, actions, and thinking, as well as practices that will help you to get where they're trying to get or find their best selves within this modern life of technology. So, for example, I would just give myself as an example. When I feel lost or I need an answer, I would definitely schedule myself into the 5-10 minutes of just breathing, just being with my own body, with my own feelings, whether it's in the shower, whether it's during the meditation, because not everybody meditate. And a lot of people are actually quite hesitant just to hear, oh, meditation, no, not for me, without even knowing what's in it. And meditation can be as simple as walking in nature. That's also a way of meditating, but for each his own. But truly meditating is that trying to hear the way we breathe or you breathe, trying to hear the way we think or the way our belly sounds. We just tune into that sound. And that's all it is, really, is meditation. So if you've done that for 5-10 minutes, you became present and you were able to hear yourself. So ideally, I would say to stay away from media and news because they're
You'll
not really...
find out anyway. Like, I did not know anything about the previous hurricane, and my son came yelling. So I will find out anyway. We'll find out.
Exactly. And in the spiritual world, they say if it's meant to be for you, it will come into your space. And that's how it goes. Truly. Yes, you will find out. So, a lot has to do with the way we were brought up with upbringing. You know, for example, in my friend's family, they were brought up to have a TV on in the morning, first thing when they eat breakfast. How else do you start your day? Or some people read newspapers, and that's just the way they grew up, and that was the habit of their parents. Nowadays, I say we have a choice. You know, we have a choice what we put in our mind, what we put on our heart, and how we start our day. So the best way, and again, there's so many tools, you know, journaling, noticing the way I feel and you feel or we feel. It can be as simple as just identifying the feeling inside your body, which is a true compass of your path. For example, we are meeting right here, right now, and then when I will be headed home, I can notice the way I feel, and it will tell me this will be pure energy. Energy inside my body will tell me what kind of energy I just consumed. I already know that it will be definitely uplifting and vibrant energy. So I'll be doing more of this. I'll be in the circle, in the process, in the work of something that uplifts me. And this is the way the universe and our bodies communicate. So if we can learn that, and just again, noticing what happens inside my mind when I'm headed home after a meeting or after work or when I'm at work. If there is some non-healthy conversation or a non-healthy reaction in your body, this is the answer. This is not the path you want to take. This is not right turn or left turn. You got to keep heading straight. So there are answers out there. You just have to be tuned in, just like listening to the music. You know, we all know that we have a preference to certain music because we resonate with that vibration. So I say that if we identify and see that vibration in everything that's around us, it will be very easy to follow their true authentic path.
Thank you so much. And in your opinion, what are the easiest and best ways to raise the vibration? Like, you feel down, you feel your energy is low, you feel you're not at the place or time you would love to be. And how would you advise to raise that vibration, and preferably fast.
Yeah.
Immediately, like now, like just up.
Again, to each his own, and knowing that we have our ways. For me, I just go into breathing or yoga.
Yes.
So, for example, I know that there is a busy and quite hectic day coming up. And when I say hectic, it could be because I have a lot of driving included, or I have a lot of flying included, or I have a lot of communication including, and when you communicate, you exchange energy with all sorts of people that you don't know. So I prepare myself, and in my case, if I identify hot yoga is the best way, and then having plant-based smoothie for me.
I almost died as hot yoga.
Oh yes, well, you see, again, your body was talking.
But yoga as such, I totally agree. It's my thing.
Yes, because what happens during yoga is that all that energy, and somebody would say all the blocks, all the tension, it flows. It opens up. It's like river. If you were to say, there's river inside of you, which really there is, because blood flows throughout our bodies, and I call it river. And just imagine there are some rocks on that river that have been blocked. And if you want to move them away, get some movement involved. And yoga is one of that. But again, going back to a fast and prompt ways, one of it could be just jumping into quick breathing, could be just 2 minutes, closing your eyes and checking in with your heart, feeling the heat, the warmth in there, and just kind of imagining a light around you, within you, and all over you. That I know it sounds very simple, but it works. And the more you do it, the more you will feel it. Another way for some people, in my case as well, if I feel that I've been really overwhelmed, I'll just jump on the phone and call my girlfriend. And I'll just chit chat with her for a few minutes. I'm sorry, I just want to hear your voice. This is it, because voice possesses vibration as well. And there will be an exchange of energy right there, and that uplifts me. Sometimes it could be just a call to my mother. Oh, Mom.
That's beautiful.
Because I love my mother and I'm grateful. And then there's just not enough time to talk to her. So even that in 2-minute conversation could give me the energy. It's that invisible energy that allows us to continue going at the pace we were going. Or sometimes it could be simply that your body is talking to you that something is not right, or, we've overdone it. We've overconsumed something. It could be a caffeine, it could be lack of sleep, it could be stress, and it could be just as simple just to take rest. So each case is very different. That's why I say working with wellness clients is such a joy, because we get to explore their lives, and then we can create a path that works for them. I think it's important to be able to know yourself to the best level possible, so you can operate in the society, in the world that we're exposed to these days.
Beautiful advice. Thank you. What have you learned from overcoming obstacles in your way? And in order to grow, what would you have to do to overcome these in your path?
Overcoming obstacles, a lot of the times, can actually be a path to the next level. And on my path, I've learned that these obstacles were my instruments, and a lot of my experiences, I had to really go through the pain.
At that time when it happens, you don't know it's an obstacle. You think it's the end of the world. Right. So how to find the way out of them, and understand that's just another step towards the growth.
So to find a way, there's one really, really simple exercise. Let's call it that way. The best way, whenever you feel that there's an obstacle, is to be an observer of the situation or an obstacle as if you're not part of it. As if you're just looking from above to this whole little drama
Bubble.
or bubble or obstacle, whatever is happening. And then you're looking at it and then you're identifying not yourself, but these people or situations. What would you give or what would you do? Or would you give an best advice to your friend, to your mother, to your relative, to the closest self, to the closest person that you can relate to, if you're to look at this obstacle or situation? And this is the answer. So the key is to get yourself out of the bubble, like you
A
said.
little bit to disconnect, you mean? Like you disconnect yourself from yourself. You're not in the moment. Usually we always say be in the moment, live it, and that's the moment when you have to disconnect and see yourself as a character in the movie or somewhere and just give advice about how to act. Is it that way?
Yes and no, because if you disconnect from the feeling, that means that you are avoiding what came through you or came for you. Because remember, life happens not to us, but for us.
To experience that emotion and feelings you're going through. But at the same time, you want to look from above or from the side. So it's a little bit tricky. You have to feel those emotions and be there. And at the same time, you have to see yourself from further distance. So it's really tricky. You have to learn. Do you teach how to deal with that?
I don't teach, but yes, we work in groups. Yes, I do women groups, and we also have a women club where we discuss that and we help each other
To find the way.
To find a way, correct? Because it's not easy in the moment, and things can happen. Some, like the other day, one lady, she had her son who was in an accident. Her grandmother died, and things like that. So how do you deal with that? But things happen, and of course, you reach out for support. Of course. You have to remember that there is no path of your own. If you have a network and support, you reach out to them or her or him immediately and just express the way you feel if you're an open person. Now, if you don't have that, the way to really jump out of it is to distract yourself. And because the mind is very powerful and it can take you to some unhealthy places, and you don't want to develop that, because remember, the vibration, whether it's a negative or positive, it will always grow. So we need to disconnect from that negative vibration. Feelings are feelings. We cannot shut them off. We need to live through them, but we also need to learn how to adapt or how to grow through certain emotion. Because emotions are there, those are the instruments. Those are there for us to be as a compass. We cannot shut off our feelings or
Wonderful.
emotion.
So it leads to next question. How important is to have that support group if something in your life is not clear? For women especially, how important it is to have your tribe who will support you.
Yes, absolutely, very important. And I love the word tribe. This is what I call our community's tribe. Yes, people that share same values, people that don't judge, people that have come from all sorts of different backgrounds and still look at life with the same values as you do. And, to each his own. So definitely there's going to be a path for you out there where you can say, oh, how interesting. I don't even have to do anything. These people just keep coming to me. Because when you open your heart, when you open yourself to the unlimited possibilities, life will start happening more and more organic ways for you. So definitely be open to that. And tribe and having the network is tremendously important. A lot of my clients actually are not as close to their family members as they are to their tribe. And that's where they feel the most support is from the network or from the tribe. And they feel that they're getting their energy and the productivity and the joy for life.
And that empowerment, especially for women, usually you don't get that at home.
Yes.
Usually it's balancing mom and, wife and all the responsibilities. So that's the place when you find yourself as thriving woman is sometimes amongst women.
Yes. And also remember, if we're talking about women, for us, for women, we must share that feminine energy. We just gain so much from just being next to each other.
Yeah.
It's there's something very authentic, and we don't have to try. We're just being. And who else, if not a woman, would be able to understand another woman? Because we're coming from the same path, vibrational path. We all were girls at one stage in our lives.
I'm very curious. Do you have your own personal role models who inspire you, where you get your inspiration?
Yes, I definitely do. Unfortunately, that role model physically is no longer, well, neither of them are no longer with us. But luckily, and going back to the question that we discussed earlier about technology and about everything that we're exposed these days, so think to the technology, I'm able to be with her anytime I want to. Louise Hay and Wayne Dyer are my most inspirational being on this planet, and I'm so, so grateful for their teachings. Louise Hay, I am sure that many of your listeners are familiar with. Louise Hay is a transformational and meditation and self-love and health, and I mean, you name it, all the subjects out there she's touched, but she has come to this planet to share her mission, and she's done such a great job successfully that any time that anybody adapts her technique sees tremendous results. So I have had an opportunity to live in California, and I was able to meet with her, go to her webinar or seminars, and I'm a big believer in the vibration. So I thought, when I go to her seminars, I will be closer and closer to what Louise Hay. I didn't know at the time that I will be so passionate about her, but after reading and studying everything about her and her biography and her childhood and upbringing, I realized that in a way, she's not any different than any of us. All she did is she tuned in to the highest vibration that she could possibly find out there in this universal space. And she did that. And on top of that, she shared with everybody else. It is up to us whether we want to use the tools or not. And I did. So that helped me a lot to be who I am today and continue making the difference thanks to her teaching, as well as Wayne Dyer.
Thank you so much for sharing. That's really interesting to know. Sometimes when you're lost, where to look for these answers. Sometimes we need to read a book. Sometimes we just need to find out the name and look into that. So thank you so much for sharing. That might be the key for somebody just to start the journey.
It's my pleasure.
So about balancing your life roles, you're teaching, you're in a wellness, that beautiful bubble you created around you, but also you have beautiful family and children and husband and your life at home. How can you balance it all at the same time, doing everything at once?
Thank you. I really appreciate you acknowledging this. That means a lot. Thank you. One thing that I've definitely identified is that, and that's the message that I always have through my company or through my teachings, is that you are what you eat, and every thought, every cell that we consume builds builds us and builds our energy. So for me, it's been a path of identifying the energy inside the bubble. How you named it, inside the bubble, is when I feel down, what do I need to eat in order to lift myself up? If I feel physically down or nature is triggering something, what do I need to do or be in order to feel that uplift? So by learning and identifying the tools that work for me, and I call it toolbox, I carry it with me
Yeah.
invisibly. But once I started carrying that toolbox with me, it has helped me quite a lot to balance it all and establishing that schedule, establishing that life that we have right now with children and husband and work and hobbies and activities. And it's knowing your tools. I would say if you're looking for a super easy and straightforward answer, that would be identifying your tools. And again, those are different for everybody. And another thing that actually just came up, by saying you are what you eat. So understanding the concept of what does your body needs, because what I eat not necessarily is going to be your path. Some people do require to eat every 2 hours, period, done, and that's just the way it needs to be for them. And if that is the case, so they need to look at what are they consuming. Are they consuming just a quick sugar-filled processed bars or snacks on the go, or only restaurant meals? Because again, nothing wrong with eating out in the restaurant, but the oils, the salt, the amount of quality that you're looking to bring to your own table inside your house is not going to be there. And you'll be surprised, but that also takes your energy away. So if we've been eating, like for example, when I'm flying and I'm flying 4 days in a row, I already know that my energy will be wiped simply because taking off and sitting down or landing requires different altitude in the body. So what I will do, I will supplement with certain minerals and nutrients that will help my body to adjust to what I'm doing to it. And to answer your question is that I've learned those tools about my lifestyle and I've implemented them. And that's what I recommend for people to do as well, to start learning and start identifying what do I need for coming up event or for coming up month, or if you're in the winter climate, how can I help my body to be at a peak performance when this cold or heat is coming up? What can I do with, I called it outside, but they're external. So food, liquids, energy, exercise, etc. Yeah.
Do you practice fasting or no?
Yes, definitely. So as of right now, since I'm breastfeeding, I'm only doing Mondays liquid only. So it's mostly water with lemon. And sometimes when I feel that I'm just drained and I need energy, I would just drink tea, green tea or black tea. But Mondays are my liquid day. And when I'm traveling, and if that's the case, then I would just eat something that is raw. So if it's if it happened to be that on Monday I have to fly, I would just make sure that I'm that I'm stocked with raw food. And I cannot always rely on airports or hotel that is going to be there. So I make sure I bring it with me. Yes, because it's not healthy to be without food. Food is our energy, but we just have to know what kind of energy we need for that particular day. Because remember, when we speak about energy and where we get that energy from, this is one of the sources. When we are passionate about something and we actually do that, we get the energy from there. And energy is invisible. It's as if you had 2 cups of coffee, or for somebody, some people don't drink coffee, or as if you had a shot of ginger shot. It's the same almost type of energy where you just want to do something nonstop because this is your passion. So you get so inspired that you don't need food, you don't need anything or anybody to be telling you, because you know what to do from inside your gut. And we call it passion. The best way to live your life is the authentic way. So if you live your life with passion, whatever you're doing is your passion, and you bring it into your life, you made it, made it in many ways. You've lived a healthy life because there is no disbalances, there is no blockages. So identifying it is by trying different things. So if it's a person on their very beginning path of their life, that's why it's always good to try different things. For some people, it's technology. For some people, it's fashion. For somebody, it's beauty. And until you try, you will not know. And you will have that recognition inside your body, inside your space, that, oh, I felt so good doing that or being around that. For me, I remember working with Chanel. I was flying to work. I loved the colors. I loved the people, and I loved the community. It was non-verbal communication. But what I do want to do is that I want to show women that there is so much joy out there if you work with your tools, with your own tools, with your body, with your own nature-given gifts. You can have it all, because alignment is something that is really important. Aligning all the things that you want in life, aligning your health, and it's almost like a magnet. You become such a high vibration person that, I know it sounds very silly, but it's almost that you don't have to do or think much. Things just come to you like a magnet.
What would be your best advice to empower women?
My best advice for women to be inspired is to get outside of your usual, and not everybody like that word, but comfort zone. To get outside could be leaving your family for a little bit.
Get out.
Yes. Yeah. No, I mean, you can't just get out immediately. Right. Yes. Bye. No. The small steps, what counts, and then for each person, it will be very individual. So one thing is definitely get outside of your comfort zone. Absolutely must do. And it could be, if you're living with a family, you would want to explore a different state, different country.
Travel, does it work for you?
Absolutely. Absolutely,
You
yes.
travel a lot.
Yes.
But with your family or alone? No.
Alone. I mean, when I can bring my family, like there was just a week ago.
They're in the same plane, but in the back.
Right. I would definitely bring them, because it depends when the place we're going, can kids be loud there or not, or if there's activities for children, I'll definitely bring them. But going back to your question, so getting outside of your comfort zone will bring you so much, because what happens is, and the way the neurons work, is that your brain start thinking a different path, as if it's starting to build a different path. But in order to walk that different path, you need to create it. So getting outside of your comfort zone, or getting outside of your usual schedule. If you're working 9 to 5, build into your schedule something that you normally don't do. Either it's on the weekend or after work. You can go to networking events. I mean, there's a meetup. There's I was going to say LinkedIn, but internations. Meet other cultures. Start learning about different people. And if you physically, not online, but physically, get yourself out there, get your energy vibrant by exchanging your energy, because every woman, each woman each woman has a uniqueness to offer. And it's such a beautiful uniqueness. I cannot express the importance of it. And there's so much potential is hiding inside that uniqueness, but she has to believe it herself first. She has to believe it. And the way to get to that belief is to get yourself outside of the comfort zone. So whether it's getting out of your family or getting out of the usual routine that she is in, or introducing something new. It could be just a simple dance or a dance class. For somebody, it could be horseback riding. But for somebody, it could be just taking a walk in nature. And of course, the mind is going to tell her, nothing is there, it's boring, but just give it a try.
Take that first step.
Correct.
And just do it and change everything around you with that first step.
First step, yes. And that's all you have to do, is just to show the effort to the universe
that you're ready for
that
something
you are
new.
ready. Yes.
That's amazing.
And then going back to Louise Hay, keep telling yourself an affirmation that I am capable of great things on this planet. I am capable. And that affirmation could be your drive to work affirmation, your morning routine conversation with the mirror. It could be an affirmation that you can create for yourself. Whatever you want to become or want to bring to your life, you can create that affirmation and keep telling yourself, and things will start shifting.
I've heard that brain does not see the difference. You tell your brain to believe something, and it is your reality immediately.
Yes, no,
that's amazing.
Absolutely, yes.
Thank you so much for this wonderful, inspirational conversation, and I hope many people can take away the best advice and take this first step to listen to your heart, and take the first step to live in love with yourself.
Definitely. I hope so too. It's true honor. Thank you so much.
And share that love like you do. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. See you on the next episode.